Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the information webinar of the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership Rolling Transnational Access Call to Research Infrastructure. We are here to present you the call in view of the second cutoff of this call. My name is Margherita Cappelletto. I coordinate the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership from the Ministry of University and Research of Italy. And before starting my presentation, I would like to share with you some housekeeping rules. First of all, you as attendee are not allowed to use your microphone, but you will be able to interact with us and pose questions to the presenters at the end of the presentation when the Q&A session will open. Moreover, the presentation and the recording of this webinar will be uploaded on our website and made available to all of you. Please consider that in this very dense and rich agenda, we will have some contribution recorded, and it will take a moment to upload the video. As you can imagine, we are in the middle of the summer. Some colleagues and are on holidays, and we are super happy to see this very participated webinar despite being end of July. I also would like to introduce colleagues connected and speakers, starting from Flavia Cavaliere, who is the manager of the Transnational Access Call Management Working Group from the Italian Ministry side, and ask Flavia to turn the slide to the first one. Thank you very much for your support to the organization. Next slide, I will just give you a couple of words to introduce the big picture and the big framework of the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership, which is an initiative that connects together European countries, regional sea basin, even third countries to support and target a sustainable blue economy by 2030, even at the global level. But if you go to the next slide, this opportunity is made possible thanks to a European Commission Horizon Europe instrument called European Partnerships that enable countries to align research and innovation programs and funding investment to pool to boost research and innovation mainly through transnational access call. We are a huge network of funding organization and research performing organization that every year implement joint call for research and innovation projects. But despite this being its core activity, the story does not end here. Among the portfolio of additional activities that the partnership is running, the access to research infrastructure is made available thanks to partners that act in the partnership as a provider of research infrastructure. On this note, I would like to deeply thank for their effort and availability all the partner organizations acting as provider in the partnership, and we leave immediately the floor to Flavia to go more in depth into the call text. But before, our policy officer from the European Commission, Michaela Gigli, will deliver a recorded message. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margherita. I will start immediately with a message from Michaela Gigli. So it will take just a couple of moments to get started, but hopefully, okay. I'm gonna share this window. Okay. Normally it works, so I could listen.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you today on behalf of the DG Research and Innovation of the European Commission. Research infrastructures are essential to Europe's ocean future. They provide the data, technologies, and expertise that underpin excellent science and drive innovation for a sustainable blue economy. This is particularly important today. The European Ocean Pact, the Ocean Eye Initiative, and the forthcoming Ocean and Water Research and Innovation Strategy all recognize that achieving Europe's ocean ambitions depend on strong scientific knowledge and world-class research capacities. Research infrastructures are at the heart of this effort, and this is why the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership plays a key role. For its rolling transnational access call, SBEP has created an unprecedented opportunity in Europe: free transnational access to around 50 world-class marine and maritime research infrastructures through a single coordinated initiative. From research vessels and autonomous platforms to laboratories, high-performance computing and digital facilities, these infrastructures are now accessible to researchers, innovators, SMEs, and public authorities across Europe. This is much more than an access scheme. It's about making better use of Europe's existing excellence. Rather than building new infrastructures, SBEP opens the door to the exceptional facilities Europe already has, maximizing the return on policy investment, strengthening collaboration across countries and sea basins, and accelerating innovation for the blue economy. As we implement the Ocean Pact and shape Europe's future ocean research agenda, initiatives like this demonstrate the real value of European cooperation. By connecting researchers with world-class infrastructures, SBEP is helping turn scientific excellence into knowledge, innovation, and practical solutions for a healthy, resilient, and competitive ocean. Thank you, and I wish you a very successful event.
Thank you. Now we'll move to my presentation. I will go deeply presenting the call. My presentation will be hopefully quite smooth, and in this presentation I would like to present a little bit the structure of the call, given that this is just general presentation, and of course if you have any further question of a specific requirement, you are invited both to write in the question and answer chat instrument that you have hereby in the webinar, and writing has to the email addresses that you will be displayed in the last slide. So I will present both the technicalities and the structure itself of the call, and afterwards I will leave the floor to other colleagues that will present the more the scientific aspects, like the portfolio and the reporting and the theory of change. Just moving the slide. Okay, just to give you an overview, hereby I will be presenting how the SBEP scheme works, the results from the previous experiments, and what changed from the pilot to rolling call instruments we are creating right now. Just to give you a little bit of spoiler about this, we are in the phase in which the calling is continuously open for 3 years, and the proposal will be managed during cutoff that will be closed every 4 months. We'll see a little bit the scope and the objectives, as well as the eligibility and transnational requirements of the proposal must comply, and afterwards we'll have a look on the evaluation criteria and the timeline and implementation framework. First of all, how does the SBEP schema works? I know that is a very dense slide, but I'll try to condense a little bit by a couple of highlighting a couple of bullet points. First of all, this is a way to be part of the community of the SBEP. My colleague Margherita, the coordinator, also highlighted how the panorama of the SBEP itself is heavy and is wide. This is a good way to start entering the community and participating in our events and be involved in our activities. The modes of the access are three: physical, remote, and virtual, but this is really covered by Laura afterwards. The access covers the use of the infrastructure and its equipment, and the scientific and technical support that will be delivered throughout the project. What the project and the call itself does not cover is the other costs, so travel subsistence and the other costs related to the project. So by the platform, what you have to tick, and of course before taking it, to be assured that you have sufficient self-funds to cover the project, because what is given is the access to the infrastructures. To a wide number of infrastructures, 66 in the current catalogue, but other costs are not covered, unfortunately. What was covered in the first call, that it was not a rolling one, was the approval of 3 projects: Macrocornet, Marvel, and Goose. Afterwards, we'll have a testimonial from the MOOS G 2027-6 project from Lorenzo Evangelista, that unfortunately is not with us right now, but I will read on her behalf her testimonial. And unfortunately, the first cutoff closed on June 2026, closed with no proposal submitted, but this is not a loss from our perspective, because with this rolling call, this is a way. This was a way to test a little bit this rolling call, but we trust in our network, and we hope that that next cutoff that will be on the 20th of October will be reached in the proposal submitted. What changed from the pilot for the rolling call is a little bit what I explained beforehand. The call is continuously open, so you can request the access to the infrastructure at every moment of the year, and we reduced a little bit the burden of the administrative part of the proposal, so it is very light. It takes just 20 minutes to be completed, but most of all, you have two tick boxes. The first one is the one that I mentioned beforehand on self-funded, and the second one is the approval from the research infrastructure provider. The thematic coverage is open to all the objectives of the strategic research innovation agenda that you will find on our website. And the idea is to enable transnational access to marine research infrastructure across Europe from worldwide applicants. What does it mean? That you can base it in Europe, or outside. What is really important is the transnational domain. It means that, and we'll see it in the next slide, at least half plus one of the team must be based in another country than the one that you are requesting. And so these are a little bit the firewall measures. This call is particularly promising for the private sector, as the private companies are explicitly eligible, and they can test their own tools on marine research infrastructures catalog. The evaluation criteria will follow the Horizon call, so excellence, impact, and quality and efficiency of the implementation, and will be carried out by a panel of independent evaluator plus an independent observer. What is really important, the cutoff of the rolling cycle. So next one, bear in mind, is the 20th of October 2026. We'll have 3 cutoff in 2027 and last one in 2028, but the last one will be shorter in access and project execution as well. So if you want to have time to implement your activity, so early application are strongly encouraged. Implementation framework, to submit, you submit your proposal on the platform. You have to create your own EPSS account. It's really smooth. Start drafting your proposal. Once this is submitted, this will be evaluation will be carried out 3 to 4 months after submission. You will be informed about the evaluation, and once your project is approved, you could implement your project, and afterwards you have to report it. But for this, for reporting, I will leave the floor to my colleague, Abram. So next step and contacts. So explore your online the catalog, contact the research infrastructure providers, and register on the platform and submit the call before the 20th of October, and spread the call throughout your contact and network. If you need any support, you can contact us throughout this email address, or and you can access this the proposal platform throughout EdTech. Okay, so this was my last slide. I will pass the floor immediately to my colleague Abram. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Flavia, for giving me the floor. I'm very happy to join this informative webinar about this call. I'm going to briefly share my screen for a short presentation. Let's see if it, please let me know if it works and you all see correctly.
It works, Abram, thank you.
Very good. Okay, so as I was saying, I will first introduce myself. My name is Abraham Trujillo Quintela. I work for AEI, for the Spanish Research State Agency, which is part of the SBEP consortium. We are Work Package 4, co-lead of the monitoring and the follow-up of all funded projects under the SBEP partnership. And as Flavia was mentioning, I'm going to present very briefly what will happen and what compromises the projects have in case proposals become actual projects. So this is a bit looking towards the future, that It's actually a presentation that only applies for the proposals that end up being actual projects. I have, let me check. Okay. Sorry. The Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership, it actually has a very similar structure to most European projects. It's divided in work packages, and it's 8 work packages connected with leading partners and very detailed distribution of tasks. We are, as I said, co-leading the work package 4 together with RVO, with our colleagues from the Netherlands, and we're focusing on the monitoring and the evaluation of all SBEP-funded projects, and also fostering, encouraging networking activities for all the projects of any nature that are funded or initiated in SBEP. We have strong connections with Work Package 7 because basically we work a lot on indicators and data from the projects monitoring that will feed the impact analysis of the whole partnership itself once we are towards the end of the partnership. So these transnational access to research infrastructure projects, they are a bit different from our cash funding projects. So the projects that we actually fund with cash since 2023 in this case. But the monitoring and reporting exercise is very important for all SBEP projects. These ones, of course, included. They are important both for the SBEP partners, which are mostly national funding agencies, but also the infrastructure providers themselves and other sorts of partners, but also especially for the European Commission. As it was mentioned in the video, in the recorded message of Micaela, the European Commission has a strong interest in knowing how these transnational access projects and the call itself develops towards the time, and they are very supportive of this initiative. There are also networking opportunities that we foster in Work Package 4 between all SBEP-funded projects. This is one of our goals as well. And for instance, just to give you an example, the transnational access projects ongoing, the 3 that were mentioned of the pilot phase, they were invited to join the other projects, which is a community of almost 50 projects funded in the last 2 calls that we had in SBEP to the International Symposium in 2026. So there are networking opportunities for the whole research community, regardless of the nature of the projects. And yes, we have, as Work Package 4 lead, the responsibility towards the European Commission to present deliverables with the monitoring reports from all projects and share the data and results. And there is a particularity for the transnational access projects, as Flavia mentioned briefly in her presentation, which is that instead of having 2 reporting exercises, which is the case for the cash projects, let's call them like that, for the transnational access projects, we try to do a light monitoring with maybe less paperwork and administrative burden, only doing 1 reporting exercise at the end of the project, which is not the same as after using the infrastructure. Sometimes after the use of the infrastructure, there is some work until the end of the project on analysis of the data, etc. So it's important that you remember that in case the projects get selected, only by the end of the project, you will have a reporting exercise to do. These final reports will be based on some templates that are still in preparation. Actually, the templates we have for the, let's say, the other calls, the ones funding with cash research activities, they also contain free text boxes and a series of key performance indicators, KPIs that are specifically these will be specifically adapted to the nature and specificities of the transnational access projects. And the fact is our regular templates are not so fit for purpose for this nature of projects. So we are adapting the templates and making sure we capture all the relevant information. Also, in terms of impact, we have created a specific task force between Work Package 4 and Work Package 7 that will propose some tailored KPIs. Also, we're gathering some monitoring exercises that are happening at national level in some of our countries when access to research infrastructure happens, just to be sure that we capture most relevant information of the projects towards highlighting the impact of the research of those projects. Very shortly on the online monitoring platform, Work Package 4 includes also a task on designing a monitoring platform for all SBEP projects. The Estonian Research Council, ETAG, is in charge of this task, and they have implemented this monitoring online system, which is actually very similar to the submission platform that you know and that you will use when submitting your proposals. So you will get very familiar with the submission platform, and this is actually the same platform that will be used for the monitoring exercise at the end of the project. You will be able to download the templates and upload relevant information when doing this monitoring exercise. And one important aspect is that this is a work that has to be done mostly by the project leader, collecting all relevant information from partners and, if any, from the infrastructure itself. My last slide, a couple of final important points. As I said, it's important to highlight that the project leaders are the solely responsible for this reporting and must collect information from the project partners. And we ask you, or in the future, the projects that become a reality, that any other aspect related with the monitoring, so it can happen unexpected changes of plans, staff, delays, a change in the calendar of the use of the infrastructure, as much information as possible to be shared with the follow-up secretariat, so with us, to work together towards a suitable solutions in case there are some deviations of the initial plans, and also keep the SBEP coordination and the partners accordingly informed of those changes. So in case the proposals become projects, we are here to help you, and please reach out when needed. We will try to help you in any possible way. Thank you very much. I leave you here our email address for questions related with monitoring, but I will be also available for questions during the webinar if we have time at the end of the presentations. Thank you very much, and I guess I'll give the floor back to Flavia and the rest of the colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Habram, for your presentation, and also for highlighting that the reporting scheme itself for this call is not so heavy, and this is just to monitor a little bit the progress of the project itself. Then this I think that this is a real added value of this call. So now we have another recorded message from Sylvain Mosquier, and he will present a little bit the theory change behind this call. It will be quite short, 5 minutes or so. Thank you for your attention. Bye.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Sylvain Pasquier. I'm lead of the work package related to impact in the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership. And in this short presentation, I would like to present you what we mean by impact in the partnership, and more importantly, what we expect from the applications to demonstrate when it comes to impact. So first of all, as a Horizon Europe partnership, the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership is resolutely committed to maximizing the impact in the research and innovation in general, in order to contribute to the green and digital transformation of the blue economy. We promote collaboration between research, industry, policy, and society in order to maximize impact. We support scale-up and market uptake, and we strengthen the science policy interface in order to provide evidence and knowledge to inform policymakers. In the end, the overall objective is to contribute to environmental, economic, societal benefits in general. So this is the reason why we request the applicant include an impact pathway in your proposal in order to explain how your projects will contribute in the long term to this societal, technological, environmental, economic impacts. So we ask you to present a clear and realistic pathway that goes from your project activities, what your consortium will do during the project, to the long-term impacts. So this includes the outputs, which are the tangible results generated by the project, the outcomes, which are the changes resulting from the uptake or use of these outputs by the relevant actors, stakeholders involved in your project, towards over the long term, support the broader long-term societal, environmental, economic, and policy changes to which your project will contribute over the very long term. In order to design your project impact pathway, we recommend you to rely on a methodology which is the methodology of a theory of change, which is a description and illustration of how and why these changes are anticipated to occur. So you can see here some diagram of an impact pathway. So the idea is that it's a tool that describes the logical and causal links between the project activities, the outputs of these project activities, the medium-term outcomes, and the long-term impact changes of your project. So you logically describe, including the assumptions between these different outputs, outcomes, and long-term impacts through logical relationships. You can see this also as a story, a narrative that you can include in your project description on the way that your project will produce changes. In order to support you in the design of this impact pathway, we invite you to consult one online resource designed by our colleagues from the NWO, the Dutch Research Council, which explains with a very instructive approach how to design an impact plan. Impact plan included this impact pathways that I just explained using a theory of change. So we invite you to consult this workshop, which is a very, very instructive resource. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact me or my colleagues at the email address at bep@anr.fr. So that's all on my side. I wish you good luck in designing this impact pathway and your proposal in general, and I wish you a very, very good end to this webinar. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. This was sorry. This was our contribution from Sylvain Pesquier. Now our agenda goes on more institutional perspective, giving the floor to our representative from European Commission, Michaela Constantin from the GRTD. Michaela, you with us, and just a question, would you like me to share the presentation on your behalf, or would you like to share yourself?
Yes, perhaps if you could help me share the presentation, it would be better, yes.
if you want, sorry, you want to show it yourself? I didn't catch it.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying if you could share it, it would be
of course,
even better.
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. I'm gonna share it. Just a moment, and I'm going. Okay. Give me 1 second more. This is gonna take a while to be shared, but okay, now it should be. Okay, I will put in presentation mode. Okay, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for this invitation. My name is Mihaela Constantin. I'm a policy officer working with research infrastructures from the Director General of Research and Innovation from the Commission. Indeed, I prepared a rather broader presentation for you. I hope, obviously, still of interest. I'm presenting the European research infrastructure perspective and the broader European policy. Next slide, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, obviously, before entering the broader European policy framework for research infrastructures, I just wanted to highlight for you why they are so special, why they matter so much for the sustainable blue economy. So as we all know, both ocean research, research into marine ecosystems, climate observations, and even economic activities, they do obviously extend beyond our national borders. In the same time, all the capacities that are needed to actually study them are highly specialized, rather costly. Either we are discussing about research vessels, observing systems, or specialized laboratories. So obviously, in this sense, the European research infrastructures bring all these capacities together. They do allow us to actually observe, have data and observation into the longer term. We do understand better marine systems, and we are able to validate new technologies. They do provide the shared and long-term capacities that basically individual projects or individual organizations or even single countries on their own could not actually develop. So this is just to perhaps remind why research infrastructures are very important in this context. The next slide, please. Yes, now going very broadly into our European policy context, we work very closely with the European research area. Basically, research infrastructures are an important component of the European research area, which actually has the means of creating a single borderless market for research, innovation, and technology across the EU in the European research area, and especially in the policy agenda of the European research area. Basically, member states together with the Commission, they have certain priorities, and they are able to work together on those priorities. My next slide is actually related to the ERA agenda. Yes, this is the agenda for 2025 to 2027. The structural policies where we have actually research infrastructures together with our colleagues from the European Open Science Cloud. You have one QR code in the top corner. You can actually use it in order to see the entire policy agenda. And specifically for research infrastructures, the idea is to strengthen their sustainability, accessibility, and resilience. We have here quite some important long-term activities on which we have already delivered from the side of the Commission. That's the long-term European strategy for research and technology infrastructures that has already been published. We work very closely in these long-term activities with ESFRI. Thus, you can also see that they also have activities in the ERA policy agenda. Of course, the launch of the ESFRI roadmap is going to be in December 2026, with updates on the key elements for the landscape analysis. They continue to monitor their ESFRI landmarks, and of course we have continuous activities in terms of stakeholder engagement. So in the ERA policy agenda, the Commission works very closely with ESFRI and research infrastructure. So we have long-term and short-term activities on working together. Next slide, please. Yes, obviously coming to the policy developments in our work, as mentioned before, the European Strategy Forum on Research Infrastructures. It's basically the strategic forum that actually allows both member states, associated countries, and the Commission to work together to be able to coordinate and consolidate the development of research infrastructures of pan-European relevance. ESFRI also allows basically the member states to actually prioritize and actually structure their priorities, and obviously it's also an incubator for new research infrastructures, as I mentioned before with the launch of the roadmap. Next slide, please. Some of the very important activities that ESFRI is doing at the moment and keeps on working on for about 25 years at the moment. So they are working on the landscape analysis. The last one has been published in 2024, and it basically provides an extensive overview of the European research infrastructure ecosystem. We have now in December the 2026 launch of the roadmap. This is basically a strategic document where ESFRI has, together with the member states, has prioritized and identified new research infrastructures of pan-European importance. And they do continue to monitor the research infrastructures that have already obtained the ESFRI landmark label. So they are continuously monitored just to be able to continuously ensure excellence. Next slide, please. Just of direct relevance, perhaps for your work, I wanted to give an example from the ESFRI landscape analysis. This is a very schematic. This is a very schematic figure of the landscape of the research infrastructures that are already part of ESFRI, and they are strictly water-related research. You can see it is very broad. Obviously, none of the research infrastructure can cover the entire water-related research. We have the ones that you see in green are strictly from the environmental domain. The ones that you see in orange are traditionally linked to the health and food domain, but they do have cross-cutting work with the environmental domain. So obviously it spans very broad from those that are working mainly on the deep sea and the seafloor to fresh water, and obviously from river or estuary sea systems all the way to physical oceanography or operational oceanography. So indeed they are basically interconnected. They work. They have to work together, and this is where ESFRI also comes in terms of consolidation of the ecosystem. Next slide, please. Also, it's important policy developments from the side of the Commission. Obviously, we have the European Research Infrastructure Consortium. This is an important legal frame that we are using for the research infrastructures. On the next slide, please. I have a couple of details about it, just to give you a very brief overview. So it's an easier to use legal instrument. It's designed to facilitate the joint establishment and operation of research infrastructures that are of European interest. It allows the establishment and operation of new and existing research infrastructures on a non-economic basis. It's basically a legal entity that is recognized all over the EU member states. It has a certain flexibility to adapt to specific requirements of infrastructures, because obviously they are very diverse in terms of domain or if they are single-sided or distributed. It's actually quite a fast process, and it also has exemptions from VAT and excise duty. So these are just a couple of advantages, so to speak, of of this particular legal instrument that is used already by our research infrastructures. In the next slide, we actually have the entire landscape of ERICs at the moment. There are 32. You see them all here, so from all of the domains, from physical science to health, social humanities, and obviously in blue, it's the environmental ERIC infrastructures, and obviously most of them actually are very relevant for your work as well. We will have a look at the end of the slide, more detailed look into the ones that are relevant for you. Next slide, please. Yes, now, of course, going into specific policy implementation, as you well know, we work very close with, we implement our policies with the help of Horizon Europe. This is the complete research infrastructure work program that you see here. So from destination as InfraDev, where we actually support the entire life cycles of these research infrastructures, to obviously technology development through the infratech calls. We also continue to work closely with our colleagues from the European Open Science Clouds, and perhaps most relevant in this case, the InfraServe calls. These are obviously traditionally known for promoting access, either the curiosity-driven or the challenge-driven ones. So in let's say making a comparison, of course, at a different scale, the InfraServe could be somehow complementary and compared to the access activities that you are actually providing through the Sustainable Blue Economy transnational access call. So this is the way that we actually implement our policies so far. Next slide, please. Yes, just to obviously give you more details example about the landscape in itself. As mentioned before, these are basically the main research infrastructures that have complementary capacities across the European marine landscape. So none of them can cover everything, so they have to work together, and this is what we also try to support and promote. They provide complementary observation, experimentation, data, expertise across the ocean and the river sea continuum. Obviously, perhaps you are very familiar with all of them. At the moment, all the ones listed here are also ERICs, so they have obtained the ERIC status as well. And you can see we can go from LifeWatch ERIC, which is more like a digital infrastructure for biodiversity and ecosystem research, all the way to EMSO ERIC, which actually offers long-term fixed point observations of the seafloor. So it's more like from the surface to the deep ocean. Then, of course, we have the EuroArgo floats, which are basically autonomous float observation of the ocean. ICOS ERIC is particularly known for standardized observation of the greenhouse gases concentration. Of course, we have Danubius ERIC. They have also become an ERIC rather recently, and they offer integrated services for river sea systems, as well as interactions across the freshwater marine continuum. So this is how the landscape looks at the moment. We obviously encourage them to work together to consolidate. The idea of access in itself, it's very important for them actually working together. And yes, we consider them as a very important asset in the European research and innovation ecosystem. This is obviously all from my side. If you have any kind of question, if you need more information from us, you can reach us by email. And yes, we would be happy to help you. The work is quite extensive. I hope it was interesting for you. Thank you.
Flavia, you are muted.
I'm sorry. I was just thanking you, Michaela, for your contribution. It was super interesting. And I would like to pass the floor to our colleague, Laura Beranzol from INGV to present a little bit the catalogue of infrastructure available under this call. And thank you for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm Laura Beranzoli from National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology in Italy. Flavia, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
I can see your screen, but you're not in presentation mode, so you can put
yes,
it.
Now
okay.
Should be
now that's perfect. Thank you, Laura.
We have just underlined how much is the importance of the research infrastructure in general, and especially for the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership. They have not come into the partnership since the beginning, but they came later, but they received soon a large interest, both on side of the beneficiaries of the project, which are institutes managing research infrastructure and facility, and by the user, of course. The user are in general researchers, research institutions, but also companies and industries. The research infrastructures in SBEP obviously try to put the position of the partnership in the framework of the Ocean Pact priorities, especially for boosting sustainable competitiveness in the blue economy, supporting coastal island communities and outmost regions, and advancing ocean research, knowledge, skills, and innovation. I'm here now to show how to access to the portfolio of the research infrastructure so that you can find the best facilities and research infrastructure that can fit your research, your industrial projects. Through the main Blue Partnership website, you can access to the catalog through the access item in the main menu of the site. When you enter into this, when you land into this page, you can surf the catalog according to the categories of the facility that we have created in order to facilitate the user in finding the most suitable facility or research infrastructure. So you can find here some categories of research infrastructure and facility that we have selected. Of course, you can either dig inside each category according to your need, or you can explore the catalog according to three main keys. The first key is the type of research infrastructure. The other key is a geographical key related to the area, geographical area, and I would say sea basin that you are more interested in. And the third key is related to the country managing or actually the country hosting the regional facility and the research infrastructure. I would like to interrupt the sharing the screen in order to share directly the website so that we can try to see how it works. And here it is. When you land into the transnational access call to research infrastructures, you should see beside the call text and the detail of the calls, also the catalog. So you can dig into the individual categories. For instance, this one, the analytical labs and test benches, where the individual facility are listed, and inside each single facility card, you can find the characteristics, the main key facts, the contacts, and the lab, the website where the facility shows the characteristics of the facility itself. So you can dig into the single category and find information about an individual facility, or you can try to use these keys to select the category, the sea basin, so the Atlantic Ocean, Baltic, Black Sea, Mediterranean, North Sea, and other basin, and the country that you are interested in, because you are possibly based in one of the countries. And finally, we would like to remind, and I go back to my previous presentation, to get in touch with the provider of the facility that you have selected, because it is fundamental, of course, to agree with the beneficiary the information related to the facility that you want to use. So please remind that the preliminary contact with the beneficiary managing the facility is really important for you in order to set your proposal in the best way for having much possibility to be funded. And that's all from my side.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Laura, for your contribution. We have just one intervention that was the intervention held by Lorenzo Evangelista from CNR, our provider representative from MUS GE 26 project. Unfortunately, she had last minute issue, but I will read her intervention on her behalf, and in the meanwhile I will have the pleasure to share a photo from the cruise that they held together in order to show also the variety and the engagement that the Transnational Access Project give to and provide to the partnership. So just a couple of minutes. I know that we are a little bit late, but I hope that you will apologize us. So from the perspective on research vessel Gaia Blue as a research infrastructure provider, participation in this SBEP Transnational Access Program has represented an highly valuable experience. The MUS project, coordinated by Dr. Laurent Coppola, offered a significant example on how transnational access can foster international scientific cooperation and optimize the use of advanced European research infrastructure. The cruise, conducted from 7th to 14th of July 2026 in the northwestern Mediterranean Sea, concluded in the port of La Seine-sur-Mer, was carried out with the MUS, Mediterranean Ocean Observing System from the Environment Program, funded by the CNRS INSU and integrated to the French research infrastructure ILECO, in conjunction with the European Project George, under the Transnational Access Program, of which CNR is a partner. During the preparatory phase, our team worked closely with the research group to coordinate cruise planning, operational requirements, mob procedures, permits and logistics, ensuring the full integration of scientific activities into the vessel operational schedule. Continuous dialogue among the users, the ship management office, the scientific coordinators, and the crew was essential to ensure that all scientific objectives were achieved efficiently and safely. The cruise resulted in the successful completion of 27 CTD station and 23 zooplankton net sampling. These skin bottles were used to collect water for onboard analysis of dissolved oxygen, while additional samples were preserved for laboratory analysis of total alkalinity, dissolved organic carbon, nutrients, and dissolved organic carbon. As a provider, our role extends well beyond making the vessel available. We support research teams throughout the entire process, from planning and administrative procedures to onboard operations, facilitating communication with the crew, assisting with authorization requirements, ensuring compliance with safety procedures, and helping research teams adapt their scientific needs to the operational framework of a complex marine infrastructure. One of the principal strengths of the Transnational Access Scheme lies in its capacity to connect scientific excellence with world-class research infrastructure. Through this program, researchers gain access not only to specialized facilities and equipment, but also to the technical expertise, operational experience, and support system required to conduct complex marine research campaigns. For research vessel Gaia Blue, this experience has further underscored the importance of European cooperation in marine research by supporting international teams such as one led from Dr. Lauren Coppola. We contributed to strengthening the scientific network, fostering knowledge exchange, and generating high-quality data that will improve understanding of the physical, biogeochemical, and ecosystem processes of Northern Western Mediterranean. We consider initiatives such this one to the development of more integrating European research area in which infrastructure and expertise are shared to maximize scientific impact and to create new opportunities for collaboration among researchers from different countries. Thank you. So, I stop sharing my screen, and I will open the floor for question and answer if we have any. I'm opening it. I don't know if we have any message in the chat that we would like to address right now, or Laura, or
many.
Yes, Margherita. Margherita, we cannot listen to you, but I know I noticed that you answered a lot of questions in the chat, so thank you. Just to highlight a little bit the point that arose. So our question, if we will share the presentation and the video recording, the answer is yes, we will. The video recording will be available on the SBEP website together with all the presentation if presenters will allow it, but hopefully they will. And of course, if for any kind of support that you will need, you have our contacts from ourselves, from the Secretariat. And if you need any kind of, we don't have a matchmaking platform for access, but of course you have all the contacts of the research infrastructure providers as an annex of the call, Annex A. So I don't know if Margherita wanted to intervene more, or Laura, if you want to say a couple of final words, so we can close the meeting right now.
Thank you very much, Flavia. Thanks all. Just final encouragement to potential applicants to apply, because it is really enriching opportunity, as we heard from the presentation of colleagues. And of course, thank you all the speakers for intervening today.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Margherita, and thank you all speakers and all participants, and especially for those of you that stayed with us until this very last hand. Thank you, and hopefully you will enjoy your summer break. Bye.